Welcome to Mishna Salem Besa Mishna Bet. This is actually very interesting. Mishnah. We're going to speak about three different categories of laws that are forbidden on the holiday of Yom Tov, right? On Yom Tov itself. And the Mishnah categorizes them. Harambam will explain these categories as we go through. So kol shechayavim alav mishum shevut umishum reshut umishum mitzvah b'Shabbat hayavim alav b'Yom Tov. So anything that you're hayav for mishum shevut, you're violating the laws of resting on the holiday, right? Or mishum reshut, right? Something that's voluntary, right? Seemingly, it's like has something to do with a mitzvah, right? It has some connection to mitzvot and and the Torah, but it's not an actual obligation for you right now, right? Even so, you'll see some of these items that are asur. We'll go through this in a moment. And the last category is mishum mitzvah. Even if something that's a mitzvah, it's an obligation for you to do right now. Even so, you're not allowed to do it, right? You're not allowed to perform these on Yom Tov. Hayavim alav Yom Tov. These are the ones that are asur mishum shevut, right? Shevut is from the language of, you have to, on the seventh day, you have to be tishbot, you have to rest, right? So Chamim said you have to rest from even certain things that are, are not mitzvot. You may have, I don't know, an urge to climb a tree on the holiday, and you're not allowed to climb a tree, right? And this would fall under this category of rabbinic laws, rabbinic gezerot, that they had that you're not allowed to do on Yom Tov. And what are they? Lo olim ba'ilan. You're not allowed to climb a tree on Yom Tov. Why? It's a gezerah shemei yitlosh. You may come to, just pluck off, right? Pluck off something from the tree, pluck off leaves, or whatnot, a branch. You're not allowed to go ahead and do that. So therefore, you're not allowed to go ahead and climb a tree on the holiday, right? Shabbat also. This is also on Yom Tov. You're not allowed to ride an animal. Over here, there's shemiyach toch zemora, the hanhiga. You may come to break off a branch in order to lead the animal, right? I don't know, hit your horse, to lead the donkey, whatever it may be. So you're not allowed to ride an animal on Yom Tov for that reason. You're not allowed to swim, right, on water, right, in the water. You're not allowed to swim in the water. Over here, speaking more of an ocean, right, where you're going ahead and and swimming. This is a gezerah that what? Because you may go ahead and make some type of floating device, and you're not allowed to go and make this habich shayatim. So therefore, gezerah. You're not allowed to do any of these three. Harambam explains mesapekim to be to banging on some type of percussion instrument, like a banging on a drum or dambeke or something, right? That's the way Harambam explains it. Others explain. Sorry, that's right. That's right. That's misapekin. Others explain, or she explains, to take your hand and bang it on your thigh. Right, that would be misapekin. Harambam says actually banging on a percussion instrument. You can't dance. You're not allowed to dance on Yom Tov. Nor are you allowed to go ahead and clap your hands. Right? All these are what? Why aren't these allowed? Because on Yom Tov, you may come to fix an instrument. You're not allowed to fix something on Yom Tov. So therefore, all these three are asur. The next, Elohim Mishum Reshut, these are Asur Mishum Reshut. Again, we said there's some type of mitzvah element involved, something connected to Torah, but even so, it's not an obligation to do right now. I'll explain why it's not an obligation to do right now, and Abam actually explains. But let's say what they are first. Lo Danin, you're not allowed to, judge, right? A Dayan, a judge, a judge is not allowed to pass judgment. Velo Mekadeshin, right? You can't go ahead and get engaged to a woman. You can't do chalitza, and you can't do yibum, right? Chalitza, if a person does not want to perform yibum, right? If a woman does not want to perform yibum, right? So they go through the process of taking a shoe off, spitting in front of the shoe, right? That's the process of, or yibum, right? Yibum is the the mitzvah for the brother of the of the deceased brother to marry that that woman who didn't have any children from his older brother. So his other brother. So that's those are the four. Now, how come these aren't considered mitzvot? Because what's the next category? The next category is ve'elu mishum mitzvah. So why aren't these considered mitzvot? Why is categorized as reshut? So Rambam says in all these cases, it's not an obligation for him to do right now, right? So you can't, passing judgment. Why? Because there may be someone else in the city who could do it better than you, right? There's someone greater than him. There's a Hakam in the city, right? So it's not your obligation to pass the judgment, right? That's why the Mishnah is categorizing it like that. Even if there wasn't someone, you would not be allowed to do it. But why is the Mishnah categorizing it as reshut? Because there's someone else. There could be someone else in the city, or you can't, get engaged. That's a mitzvah. Okay, so here also maybe he has a wife and children already. So then it's not a mitzvah because you already performed the mitzvah priyah v'riviyah, right? And you boom and chalitza. Let's say there's another older brother who could perform this mitzvah, right? So it's not incumbent on him to do right now. All right, so that's all of that we mentioned over here. And yeah, and you're not allowed to do any of these on Yom Tov. In general, right? What's the reason that you can't perform any of these on Yom Tov itself? So these have more to do with the concept of writing. Right? You can't go ahead and you can't go ahead and do any of these because a person himself may come to write on Yom Tov, and that's why Chamim said you're not allowed to go ahead and do any of these. Now the Mishnah continues. What are these? These are asur, even though it's a mitzvah. What are they? Lo makdishin, right? You can be makdish, sanctifying, right? So give something to the Bet HaMikdash. Lo ma'arichin, right? Give your value. Right, I'm going to give my value to the Bet HaMikdash. You can't give make something cherem. Right, it's not the way we use it today. It's more of a concept. You can't give your field to the hekdesh, right, to the property of the Bet HaMikdash or the Kohanim. Right, you can't donate that. You can't separate Trumot and Masorot. Right, so all these also, right, you're not allowed to do on Yom Tov, even though it's mitzvah. Even though it's a mitzvah to do, you can't do any of these on Yom Tov. Either why? These are gezerah mishum mekach u'memkar, right? It's a gezerah because of business transactions that are asur. Why are business transactions asur? It's actually because you may come to write, right? But that's all part of one gezerah. And they said you're not allowed to do anything that relates to a business transaction. Okay, that's what you're not allowed to do. Those are the three categories and all the laws that you're not allowed to do on Yom Tov. All these we said is talking about Yom Tov. And sarich lomar b'Shabbat. Of course, we don't have to say Shabbat. Of course, it's asur on Shabbat also. Ve'en b'Yom Tov ben Shabbat ela ochel nefesh b'levad. Parenthetically, the only difference between Yom Tov and Shabbat is one thing, and that is when it comes to food, cooking food, right? This, Rambam points out, is actually only according to Bet Shammai, because Bet Hillel do have other things that are different between Yom Tov and Shabbat. It's not just cooking food, right? We saw that you're allowed to lower fruits, right, from the rooftop, right? That's on Yom Tov, not on Shabbat. You're allowed to carry a minor or a lulav or a sefer Torah outside in a Reshut Harabim, even if it's not food, according to Bet Hillel. And so Bet Hillel do have other things. So this last statement, that there's no difference between Shabbat and Yom Tov except Ochel Nefesh, that's really only according to Bet Shammai.